Alright, so today's actual daily video, let's get nerdy. Because that's what I am and that's who I... No, wait, that's who I am, that's what I do. That one. So, let's go with this. So, I've explained previously the idea of virtual machines, and that being that you can run basically a full computer inside another computer, like virtually, within a window. And then it just shares some of those resources and runs virtually. So we got that down pat. So then you're probably familiar with the idea of a server. If not, basically a server is a computer that provides services to a bunch of other computers on a very basic level. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but you know, that it's in the name. It serves other computers. And I personally love that. But anyway, so there, we've got two things there already that, you know, one I've talked about before, two you should be familiar with. But then this is where it gets interesting. So let me just explain this as an overview first. This project that I'm working on is a clustered virtual server setup. Let me explain what that means. So we've gone through virtual, we've gone through server. Clustered, though, means that they work together. And not just that they work together, but they work together as one. So there's... How do I explain this? It's basically, what's the term? High availability. So basically, if one machine fails, because you've got to run the virtual machines on actual physical machines at some point, right? So if the physical machine fails, then the cluster as a whole just seamlessly moves that virtual machine or starts utilizing resources of a different physical machine, but the end user doesn't know any different because it just stays up and running. I don't know if I explained that very well, but we got there in the end. Well, I'm pretty sure we got there in the end. Again, as always, if you have questions, come and ask me. But let's go a layer deeper. So for this particular project, I'm using, as the host for the virtual machines, I'm using two computers I've got here. Both of them are AMD Ryzen 5 based things. One's a 2600, the other one's a 3600, so 6 cores, 12 threads each. One's got 32 gig of RAM, one's got 16 gig of RAM. I told you we're going to nerd out. We're going to really nerd out here. One of them is that red glowing thing behind me there. That's the 2600 with 16 gig of RAM, and the other one is in my rack down here. And yeah, it's only like a, I don't know, what's that, 12 unit rack, but anyway, it's the 4 unit rack mount system down the bottom. And yeah, it's the master. That's the, I don't know, node? Well, okay, the layer deeper then. So that's the hardware. We're running that, or I'm running that on Microsoft's Hyper-V. Now, I know Hyper-V is not the virtual machine host of choice. It's just because I've got two Windows-based workstations and can't need to be able to use them, so I can't completely nuke them and just install VMware, vSphere or ESXi, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call themselves now, and run that. That would be my preference. And yeah, if you don't know what any of that means, Google is your friend, and I'm your friend. I'll come and answer any questions that you want. So that's our virtualization layer. So then we've got virtual machines on top of that. So, you know, Windows 10 Pro on both machines, Hyper-V running on top of that to run the virtual machines. I could use VirtualBox, I guess, but I feel like for this, Hyper-V is a little bit more corporate-ish. Well, it is very corporate-ish, actually. That's what is meant for corporate setups. So that's what I've gone with. Then on top of that, then we're running three Ubuntu, so Linux Ubuntu servers. If you don't know what that is, that's a whole different kettle of fish. We can talk about that if you want, but there's basically a master and two worker nodes. So the master and first worker node are on my machine in the rack down here, and the other worker node is on that machine back there. Now, that's operating system on the virtual layer. Then on top of that, and this is where I'm getting a little bit confused and haven't really done anything with before, because up until now I've done all of that. Now we're using a combination of Docker, which is a container system. So I think it's applications. I don't actually know that much about it yet. I'm still learning as I go. Docker contains your applications and keeps them in a safe space that can be moved. And then on top of that, then there's I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's spelled Kubernetes, Kubernetes. I have no idea, but basically it's a system designed by Google and what Google uses on their servers to be able to then, basically cluster. So we can, actually a lot of other things, but that's what we're using it for. We're using it, I'm the one doing this project. There's nobody else involved. That's what I'm using. That's what I'm doing. And right now I'm at the point of all 3 virtual machines are running. They have Docker running, so that's installed and running. I've just finished the Kubernetes. I'm gonna have to decide how to pronounce that. So we're going with Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is now running on the master node, and now I'm about to join all the worker nodes to it, and then get some kind of management interface up, and then from there, I'm going to call that at least stage 1 success. I think actually maybe stage 1 success was setting it all up. Either way, it's a giant learning experience. That was a massive brain dump of nerding out. If you want to learn anything about this stuff, maybe don't ask me, but if you want to know anything more about what I've said, by all means, ask me. Although in a few days, I'll probably know a lot more about it. So, yeah, thanks for joining my nerd out. I hope you're having a great day. I hope your brain doesn't hurt as much as any more than it did coming in, although there's a fairly good chance that it does. And as always, I hope to see you next time. And if you got through all of that and you really want to see me do that again, then you can like, follow, or subscribe. Thanks. Bye.